Hola, hola, hola. How is everybody doing? K1GMM Steve in the ditch. We are playing Zombie Apocalypse. And get the chat popped out here. Have some fun. Some epic fails. And some huge successes. There's another Asia. So, see if I can get my windows settled here. All righty. Let me get this. Okay. So we're pretty much good to go. Hey, what's up, Paul? Gary. Gary, my helpy helperton. Gary is. Gary, I have some news. So, as you guys are probably aware, some of you, hey, Ollie's dad, Andrew, G7NAQ. Good to see you. Tonight's topic is guess what it is. Magnetic loops. We're talking a colossal success today. But not what everybody's probably thinking. So a little bit of history, and I'll try and keep this brief because I'm not going to make write a book about this. But as most of you know, I've been working on an 80 meter high power magnetic loop. Well, it was a total bust. And after talking to my friend Gary, KB2NYC, he said it's most likely a coupling. He thought it was probably a coupling issue. Well, I think he's right on the money because I took the copper off. I have not been able to, I could get it to tune, but it didn't look right. And it would take power. I put 500 into it, stable. Didn't hear worth a crap. It was 20 dB down on receive over the delta loop out front. And that should not happen on a magnetic loop. And so when I broke it down today, I couldn't find anything wrong with it. So what I did is I went to the store and I bought some aluminum flashing, roll of 8-inch aluminum flashing. And I used the same spreaders in everything. And ended up taking some black tubing, it's waterline, 1/2-inch waterline, and I went around, and you'll see it. I'm not going to explain it now, but you'll see it. I needed a form to wrap the aluminum flashing onto that would make it round. You see what I'm saying? Instead of square or diamond shape or whatever. So that was successful. However, the whole thing is held together right now with zip ties and duct tape. No joke. It needs to be cleaned up and finished, but believe it or not, and I did this just to see where it would tune right out of the gate. With that diameter, it's roughly 52 inches in diameter. Don't ask me the circumference, but I can get that for you if you want. Actually, you can just go online and type in diameter to circumference and put in 52 inches, and it will give you the circumference of the material to make that diameter. I have no idea what it is. So it's 52 inches diameter, and I wanted to see where it would fall, so I swept it. I haven't had a chance to put I just picked up a VNA today. And it's charged, but I haven't had a chance to jack it in. So I need to do some more work. I suspect the coupling loop is foobarred. It's okay. It's working. Actually, I don't even know if I'm going to touch it, but I want to analyze it and get into some more detail with it before I literally lock everything down and make it permanent. So I wanted to see where it would fall on the bands, what band it would fall on. Well, according to what I see, going to flashing gives you no advantage over copper tubing. Let's say a 5/8 copper tube. None whatsoever. The reason why I say that is because if you look at a calculator and you figure out what diameter a loop would need to be to function on the band I'm about to show you, it's about this size. You think that all that surface area and skin effect would allow you to make the loop much smaller. No, it doesn't work like that. Mileage may vary, that's what I'm seeing. So guess what band it falls on, and guess what band I need an antenna for? 30 meters, it is right in the kill box. Takes about 70 to 80 puffs to tune on 30 meters, and I'm decoding Asia. What's that right now? Can't see it. I'm decoding Asia, and I've been heard in Kuwait on 20 watts. I've had multiple pileups already on 20 watts on this thing on 30 meters. Best freaking antenna I have had a resonant dipole up for 30, but I really didn't. I've been trying to figure out where am I going to put an antenna for 30, because it's going to run right through all my other antennas. It's not that big, but still, even a halfway dipole, I fussed with trying to get it oriented on the property so it's not coupling to my good antennas that I have up. So here we go. Enter this thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a video and show you guys exactly what I'm talking about and what it looks like. And you can go ahead and laugh, and you'll see the duct tape and you'll see the zip ties. And this is kind of like a snapshot overview build, but I am completely blown away by this thing. It's so good that I would actually, if I didn't have trees around my yard, I would build a whole antenna farm out of these things. And I've only been running it for a matter of a couple hours. When you see the FT8 screen, you'll wet yourself. I mean, this thing is freaking cracking. I would build, I'd go ahead and spend the money, and I would buy a series of vacuum variable capacitors, and I would build one for 20, probably 15 and 17. I would build a monobander for 20, a monobander for, you may be able to get 30 and 40 together, depending on the cap you get. 30 is not important to most people, but I like it because it's the redheaded stepchild of ham radio. That's what I call it. It is truly. You never know where you're going to get to on 30 meters. And it's a digimode band, so it's not for everybody, but it's like a hybrid. I call it the hybrid. It sits between 20 and 40. It's 10 megahertz. And you get characteristics of both bands. And it's open all day long and all night long. It's crazy band, and you never know where you're going to get to on this band. I actually prefer it. It's my favorite band for digimode because it's so bizarre how it works. And don't ask me how it works. I've never dove into it. You guys had more knowledge about that probably. So, and then I build one for 40 and 80, and I would set them all up. They're tiny. The 80 meter one would be huge. That'd probably be about 12 feet in diameter if you wanted the efficiency really good. But the one issue I'm going to check is how much power this thing will take. And I'm not going to do it tonight. I'm going to bring it up slow. It should take 100 watts at least, no problem. But because it's flashing, you look at these other guys, they build these helical, like Fusinski, he builds these helical magnetic loops out of copper tape, which is thinner than this stuff. And he runs legal limit in those. So it should be able to take some snot. Don't know. But I will let you guys know how that goes. If you hear me buying a new amplifier, or next time you see a stream and you see like fire extinguisher dust all over everything, you know what happened. Anyways, let me get over to the video. Let me check to see who else is in here. Hey, Bert. Oh, cool. You're almost done. Awesome. What is that? KI4WYV. How you doing? Haven't seen you before. Welcome to the Madhouse. And you're absolutely right, Ollie. Andrew, I had to look up Andrew. You're right, man. They are my go-to fasteners, man. Zip ties and duct. This entire station is held together with zip ties and duct tape. And you can say what you want about zip ties. I have an old 11-meter portable Moxon that's built on driveway markers and PVC tubing from my 11-meter days. It's in the bushes, and I ripped it out. I took it out of the bushes to take some spreaders off. This was like a year ago. Thing's like 10 years old. The zip ties are still perfectly fine on it. I couldn't believe it. It's been sitting out in the weather for freaking 10 years. You gotta love it. That's why I'm procrastinating. Hey, Eddie. I'm procrastinating. Make sure everybody's in here so they can see what's coming. So, all right, let me get over to the other screen. I'll kick it on, and we'll just let it rip. Actually, probably should do this. So I can make sure the audio is going through. Okay. And here we go. Okay, folks, I'm playing with a magnetic loop. What I'm running is 8-inch flashing on a 52-inch diameter. I can get the radius for you and give you what the rough radius is. What I'm finding out is that this behaves much like just a single turn loop, which it is a single turn, but you think the width of the flashing would help the situation, but it does not. Seems like the dimensions are very close. Now this thing, I just used the same. I was trying to get a 3-turn going, had something seriously wrong with the material. It was a material problem, and sun, the glare is really bad, so I'm gonna have to do this from over here. So what I did was I put this on the same spreaders as the 3-turn copper, which was a bust. So what I did was I took, this is 1/2-inch water line. It's dirt cheap. You can get it in a building supply store. Ran 3 turns around it to hold the flashing, and I still have some more work to do to get it kind of tied off. It's just kind of temporary right now. Give it something to lay on that would make it a circular in nature, you know, instead of square. And so that's it. And I brought it down, cut the plate off right here, and then left a strap connected so it goes up and wraps around each end of the capacitor. So there's no additional connections. It's direct to the capacitor. Oh, I forgot something. I got to recouple this. I loosened that up. 12 volt DC 2 RPM motor. What I did was I stalled the resistor, and I don't even know the resistor value, just to slow it down, because believe it or not, this thing is gangbusters on 30 meters. Absolutely cracking on 30. I'll show you the PSK reporter map where I got to. I was chatting with the guys on ZELLO about it, had them go take a look at it, and it's works really freaking good. Really good. Best antenna on the property for 30 meters. Granted, it is. I didn't intend it for 30 meters. I just wanted to see where it would fall with this amount of material. You know, using a flat, you know, flashing instead of tubular metal. And it actually works, and it receives like freaking hell breaking loose, man. I mean, it's great. Got all over the place on 5 watts all the way out. I think Glenn told me south of Turkey on FT8, and I had just a massive pileup on 5 watts running out of this thing on 30. So yeah, cool. 25 kilovolt cap, and what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to take this off. I'm going to get me another cap, a lower value cap, and run that cap on this antenna, because I don't run a lot of power on FT8. Don't have any interest in doing that. 20 watts is about it, is all I ever run. If I can't get to where I'm going on 20, I don't work it. So, you know, phenomenal. I'll show you guys when I get inside. Let's see what else. This is 1.5 inch PVC. The antenna is very light, but because of the strapping, the flashing, it does have a pretty significant shear wind load on it. It keeps twisting it. The wind will grab it and spin it. So, and it spins really easy, as you can tell. And so I'm going to have to put a, I'm going to zip a screw into the bottom tube just to lock it in place. This right here, about right here, is pointed over towards Europe, right through that V over there. That's 53 degrees from here. Due north is over here. So that puts me into Europe. I can work almost everything from this position right here. So anyways, 30 meters, 10 megahertz, snapped right into shape there. It ain't done yet. Still have more work to do, but hey, we'll go with it for now, and I'll probably build one for 80 out of this same material. I'm going to check the power handling capability of this, though, and see if I can melt it off. I'll throw, like, I don't know, I'll light the amp up and throw like 300-400 at it and see what happens. It's thicker than tape, way thicker than tape, and they do build legal limit loops out of copper tape. So I don't know, it should hold up if I can just keep the wind from tearing it apart. That's the catch. But I got an idea for that. Oh yeah, Johnson. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this stuff right here, and I'm going to cut 8-inch lengths of it, and I'm going to screw it right down and pinch this, sandwich this right down to the spreaders. She ain't going nowhere. I don't want to put screws through it, so I'll probably put the screws through the ends. Take a piece of plastic, lay it on here, and zip it right down, pinch it down on all 4 spreaders, and it will not go anywhere. I'll probably never have to worry about it. I just got to get a box put together, put over the cap, and we're off and running, man. All right, see you inside. Okay, folks. All right, that's as far as we go with that. Yeah, let me get over to the other screen. We're going to run some Zombie Apocalypse and see if we can see what happens. And when I show you this, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. This thing is freaking like, it just blew me away. Let me get over to the other screen here. There you go. There's FT8. Those are the signals right there coming in. So I'm going to watch up here for a minute. I'm going to check the I'm going to check what comes in on decode. Pretty standard stuff. I'm looking for okay, well, while that's oh, what was that just zipped by? Where are you? Thought I saw a red one zip by. That's usually Asia. Yep, Asia. Yep, so I just had an Asia decode. Freaking thing's hearing stations out of Asia. I'm telling you, man, the freaking thing is killer. Absolutely killer. So let me pop over to let me go over to PSK Reporter, and I'll go ahead and hit refresh. This is a 24-hour period. This is a combination of 5-watt runs and 20-watt runs. So let me get over here. All right, so these are the people sent by. These are the people that have heard me. All right. Let me get out to all entries, or all stations. So we got Sweden, let's see, Venezuela, Azores, yeah, Croatia. Nothing really, I mean, pretty standard issue, but, oh yeah. She's getting out, and like I said, this is a combination of 5 watts and 20 watts. Poland, Switzerland, U.S. Virgin Islands, Austria, Don't really see anything exotic. Czech Republic. Yeah, so pretty much a lot of stateside and a lot of pretty much covering all of Europe. Let me go to the map. I'll show you map view. This is the map view. So these are all the stations that heard me. I've been heard out on the West Coast, all over Europe, and here. I think this is going to start to really stretch because as we approach 30 meters is, I believe gray line comes into play on 30 as well. So we'll have to check that out. And not much bandwidth. So let me show you that as well. All right. This is important because mag loops, yes, that's a good question. Who asked that? Andrew, right? Okay, Andrew. So I'll minimize this and let me pop. I'm going to go ahead and close this. I can always reopen it. So I'll close that and I will show you what the Q looks like. It should be very high Q. It should be. You shouldn't see a very gradual dip, and it should be a fairly deep dip. So let me pop this on. And I'll expand the pan adapter out. It's sitting on, that's the FT8 activity right there. So when I hit the matchmaker, you're going to see where the tune is. So the tune is a little, she's a little off. I can fix that. So what I do is I roll the motor until you see this dip come onto the frequency you want to operate. This is the beauty of a pan adapter. You can do it with an on-screen pan adapter on the radio. It's just more difficult because it's smaller. You can also use it, you do it with there's two ways to do it. You can do it like this, which I love this because there's no carrier involved. You're not stressing the finals on the radio. And is it necessary? No. So if you don't have, let's say, a 212 matchmaker and you don't have this option, well, you can tune, when you tune it, you listen for maximum receive. So once you get to the point of maximum receive, where you see the S meter go ballistic, right, you're close. And then you can hit it with a carrier, like a 5-watt carrier, and you can roll the cap with a motor drive until you get to the lowest SWR. That's one way to tune it. This way, I can just roll it. See how it moves across the screen? And so I'll roll it back up, and that's with a resistor in play, and it's still too fast. Now, Gary and I were talking about pulse width modulators, and the problem with a PWM, I have yet to find a PWM that doesn't throw hash and trash all over the band. They're incredibly noisy, really annoying. They work great because you can just creep that cap. You can just creep it big time. If you're using a carrier, they work great for that. You know what I mean? Tune for maximum receive, then hit it and roll that cap with a motor drive with a PWM, and you can just creep that along. The motor will not stall with a PWM. That's the nice part of them. I think I went a little bit beyond. That's probably okay right there. So if I hit the wrong thing. So let's say I hit. Let me get the volume up so you can kind of hear it too. Let me go. You should be able to hear that. Probably hear that in the background. So if I were to change frequencies, right, let's go up here. Hear that? That's that sound that makes. So you can shift this. That's pretty good right there. That'll work. But you can really dial it. That's perfect right there. So 136. I'll zero beat that. Bring this back down. And you can hear the matchmaker almost disappear. That's what you want. There we go. That's a kill box. So yeah, PWM, that would really help a lot. Hear how you just barely hear that little flutter in the background? You probably can't even hear it. Okay. Let's see, what have I got on the 7300? So I've got so if I hit it, I'll crank it up to 20 watts and just hit it with a carrier quick. Flatter than a pancake. So, all right, I'll close this. So that shows you that. We'll get back over to the zombie apocalypse. And I need data 7300. Go to the desktop. And here we go. So we're just going to so what we'll do is we'll just run some zombie. And I'm going to actually kick the gate out. Unfortunately, and I'll turn the radio up just so you can hear. Yeah, so let's see if we can find a place to sneak into or something. I'll just throw out some calls here and see what happens. This looks pretty good right here. And we'll, what do you think? I'll wind it up to 30 watts. What the heck, man? Why make people work too hard? No, that ain't gonna work. So let's go right here. I usually wait a couple cycles to see if it's actually clear. And it looks like, no, it is not clear. There you go. Yeah, finding a place to sneak into is difficult when the band's like this. It's freaking cranking, man. Okay, I think that's going to work right there. Is that a signal? Ah! Could probably slide in there, though. You got to, what you got to do sometimes, you got to stick your elbows out. Ah, that's no good. Slide down here, see if there's anything going on. No, I think that's Echo 7. I want to see if I can generate a mess like I had before, because that was hilarious, man. Nine. What the heck is that? AF. Is that Africa or something? 9K 9G5FT. Where's that? No idea where that is. You guys are a bunch of band hogs, man. Let me see if I can... That looks like a spot right there. No, it's no good. God. How about right in there? Anybody in there right now? Yep. This has been open for a while, so I'm gonna... I think there is a station there. It's pretty weak. Sometimes I'll actually listen. Oop, shoot. If there's a ghost image there, it's workable sometimes. So you have to. Sometimes it's worth listening and watching. Hey, Chris. 30 watts, that's a lot of power for me, man. I usually don't run more than that, more than 20 on this band, but we'll just see. We'll crank it up, and I may even wind it up even further just for figgles. God, I'm looking for someone I can just click on and work, and I can't even. I mean, I've already worked that station before. What's that? Let's give that a run. Hey, hearing me? Holy crap. That's pretty funny. 25 watts. That's Bosnia Herzegovina. That's 4,365 miles. And you can do this from your freaking deck. That's the hilarious part. I just synced it up. You can't hear me because I was on the split. Okay, there we go. Let's try this. Been a while since I've run this abomination of a program. Dropped the ball. That's okay. Okay, there's an open spot right there. I'm gonna take that. Here we go. Oh, was open. God. Kidding me? He who hesitates is boned. I don't see any magic smoke, so that's a good sign. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let me turn this down while this is running. So the matchmaker, some people call it a noise bridge, but it is not. Oh, come on. This frequency's occupied, I think. They're not going to hear me. That's what happens a lot on FT8. So the matchmaker, it just produces that. Just if you want an awesome explanation, go to Richard Fuzinski's YouTube channel. Type in helical magnetic loop on YouTube. He's got a phenomenal explanation of exactly what it does. Very, very cool. So these guys can't hear me, so I'm going to move up here. Okay, so let's see if you can hear me if I'm transmitting on this frequency. Yes. How can I show it? I can't really touch anything. Yeah, it's called, it's made by MFJ. It's called a 212. MFJ 212 Matchmaker. Hey, he got me. Cool. All right, that's done. That's Italy in the bag. So now I know they're hearing me, so I'm going to roll this back to 20. Yeah. I think the video may be, let me see if I can find it. See if I can find it. That's why I bought it in the first place. I thought, oh my gosh, that is cool. And I use it to tune all my antennas. It doesn't just, you don't need it for a magnetic loop. But let's see. Helical loop tuning Fuzinski. I wish, I can't remember his call sign. Let's just do helical magnetic loop. Let's see what happens. There it is. Richard Fuzinski. So here's his channel. Magnetic loop tuning. Okay, type in helical magnetic loop tuning. He explains exactly what this matchmaker is. No better explanation on the internet. I can't even remember how it works. It's freaking cool. Actually, I'll put a link. I'll put a link to that video in the description once this renders. Actually, why don't I just grab it? Duh. I can grab it right now. God, I'm so stupid. I'll put it in the chat. How's that? There you go. Oh, really? Glenn, you went back to PSK? There he is. So that's a French station. K1GMM. Sent by. Map view. Wow. Yeah. Down in Turkey. Holy mother. Romania. Yeah. See the band stretching its legs. That's cool. This gray line gets close. Wow. He gave me a +1. That is a cracking signal on that power. That's a good signal on that power. Wow. He was a +11, but I'm sure he's running at least. These guys run just ridiculous amounts of power. Yep. Yes, they are, Gary. They're confirmed. LOTW or QSL somehow. This is why I call it zombie apocalypse, man, because you just, like, if you're surfing, I do it. I love it. Not all the time, but sometimes I'll be researching stuff. And I've been wanting to get on 30 meters. There's Delta Lima, there's Germany. I've been wanting to get on 30 and just run this in the background while I'm reading and researching. I call it contact farming. Contact harvesting. It's pretty funny. See if anybody new has jumped in there. I don't see anybody new, so. 30-meter magnetic loop and antenna, 8-inch aluminum flashing. $16. It's actually cheaper than a spool of wire if you think about it. Of course, the rest of the antenna isn't, but that's some funny shiznick right there. You know, the funny thing is you could make one of the. I'm tempted to do that and either build an air variable, just run an air variable on it, man. Because you know you could do this with 20 watts. Shoot, I was making. You should have seen the contacts I made on 5 watts. It was silly, absolutely ridiculous. It wasn't long. I don't think I've worked anybody across the pond on 5. They heard me, but I didn't work anyone. But I worked a bunch of stateside here, just one after another. So, you know, if you run an air variable, that's cheap, man. You can build one of these, run it on 30 meters, run 20 watts. Hey, good God. Well, you have a freaking ball, you know. Especially you, Gary, where you live out in the clear like that. Oh, man. Because they do have a low angle component of radiation. They're nice for DXing. It's just fascinating to me that a 52-inch diameter antenna can work so well. It's like a mystery. It's like a freaking mystery antenna. They're cool. Yeah, would be, Gary. Oh, killer. Oh, yeah. That's perfect, Peter. That'll work. And you can throw some serious power into that, man. Because that's what I have out there right now. Oh, there's another Delta Lima. Yeah, 25 kilovolt. You could actually put legal limit into that easily on 25 kilo. You know, see, that's the thing. If you run a tight cap like that, assuming your build isn't like mine was, where it was all foobarred. If you have a good build and your efficiency is good, your voltage is going to be much, much lower. Where you get into the high voltages is where you're not running a very efficient antenna, and then you need a lot of headroom on the cap to get to a kilowatt or more. You know, but oh yeah, 25 kilovolt. God, dude, you could run a kilowatt into that. On like a 75% efficiency on the antenna with proper connections, and you know you build it right, hell yeah, that'll take that. No problem. That's a lot of headroom, which is a beautiful thing. You know, you don't have to worry about grenading anything. Okay, I'm gonna slide up here a little bit, up and into the clear. That's the other nice part too, is you can get these caps cheap. I think I was seeing a 25 kilovolt, same one I had. I think it's the exact same cap I have out there for like $94. That's tough to beat, man. But you are talking a monobander. You know, you don't have a big range in the cap, and it's very easy to get over 100 puff on these things to tune. Really easy. You know, that's why, you know, if you want to build a monobender, they're great for that. Or a modular loop where you can jump loops on and off of it. That'll also work good. Charlie Tango. That is part of Spain, isn't it? Charlie to Portugal. That's Portugal, I think, right? Refresh this thing. Nothing really new. I mean, I really would like to get out into this area, out towards India. That's kind of, shoot. Okay, so that's a waste. He can't hear me. This happens a lot. Somebody will move in on the frequency he's listening on, and it'll crush me. It'll crush you, and then you can't complete the exchange unless you throw a huge amount of power at them, which I don't do because I don't really care. Doesn't matter to me. I have no problem walking away from an exchange. Kind of weird like that, but some people are very tenacious, but trying to find a place to move to, because I think that's exactly what happened. Somebody came on and just wiped me out. Let's check this, see if anybody's transmitting here. Yes, they are. Let's try this right here. This is a little spot open. Boy, that'll drive you freaking batty. You also want to make sure your clock is somewhat accurate too. It helps. Delta, a lot of Germany. You can see on this map where, I mean, it is just crushing it into Europe here. So the antenna, so if you look at this map, so this is gray line coming, so we're not even at gray line yet. This is going to get good probably in another, half hour, maybe 40 minutes maybe. The antenna is kind of pointed. Here we go. That's complete. The antenna is kind of pointed this way. And that's the direction I need. I need 53 degrees. Puts me just like this, right into Europe and right down like that. Right into the Middle East, into this area. That's the orientation I kind of leave everything at, because it's very broad, you know. Cool thing about this is that it's so small, I'm able to go out. I can turn it, and I can fire it southeast long path, which is probably what I should do. I'm going to try that too. Once I get it buttoned up, I'll flip it, and I'll go northwest to southeast long path down towards VK and ZL and stuff like that, and try that. I don't know how that works on 30, but it would be fun to play with. Yeah, I think my clock's a little off. Seems to be okay, but usually I sync it, and I didn't do it. I was like, screw it. I just lit it up and... Yeah, so I mean, you're talking, it's pretty effortless. Okay. Let's see, just for figgles. I'm going to roll it back to 5 watts and see what happens. What the heck? He didn't complete the exchange. Are you kidding me? Okay, he got it. Cool. Awesome. Oh. Shoot. There we go. There's 5. I like checking that out. Sometimes, if you really look at the difference between like 10 watts and 20 watts, you're only doubling the power. It's kind of one of those things. So I always check the threshold. When the band is alive like this, I'll check to see who's going to come back to me, on low power. Peter, let me turn this down so you can hear me. And I'll turn this up a little bit so you don't have to fuss with your... Geez, still in Cyprus. Wow. -7 is respectable on this power. That just because it says -7, don't think. I've made contacts at like -20 plus, -20, -22, 23. So that's respectable. That's okay. Okay, the caps. So, okay, there's nobody coming back to me, and it looks like that frequency may be occupied. So I'm going to slide down. Anytime you see like that ghosting on there, there's probably a signal in there. Oh, shoot, somebody's coming back to me. I switched it. Dadgummit. Okay, see where he is. No. Okay, that's somebody else. So, sorry, dude. Transmitting over top of you. I'll move. Boy, he's throwing some serious firepower, man. Okay, so the cap. There we go. Let's give that a run there. Okay, so the cap. What's more important? It all depends on what you plan on doing with it, Peter. These things, they behave differently, I found, than a traditional or regular antenna. You tend not to need as much power with it. I don't know why. If you've got an amplifier and you could push 300-400 into these, peaking 500 at the most, that's all you need. So it all comes down to the efficiency. So if you're going to run let's say you build a mag loop and you want to get 40 meters, well, let's say 20 meters and 40 meters on it. Let's say 20 through 40. Well, you're going to have to make the loop smaller because it won't function the way it's supposed to on 20 meters if you make it large enough to bring it into peak efficiency on 40. So how many dB down would it be? I don't know. You'd have to look at it. So you're going to be compromised on 40. If you use it on 20 meters, you build it for 20 meters. Now you need additional capacitance to tune it on 40, right? So, but it's going to be down in efficiency. How many dB? Trying to use a 20 meter antenna on 80, it's probably catastrophic. Which means you'll probably need a lot, probably 400 puff to tune that thing. So if you kind of think of it this way, from a purely fundamental standpoint, the more capacitance you need to tune them, the less efficient they are. Now you can make them too efficient, so they don't function as a magnetic loop. They function as a severely compromised bent dipole, and you don't want that. You want it to function as a magnetic loop with magnetic loop properties. So the lengths have to be very specific. Your diameters, your circumference, coupling loops, stuff like that. It has to be like 1/10 of a wavelength to start with, or smaller. And the coupling loop needs to be 1/5 of that, of the driven loops, the big loops, which are 1/10. So that puts you in the kill box, right? So it's kind of complicated, but it's really not. So let's say you wanted a loop that would tune 20 and 40 meters. Well, that's easily doable. You're just going to need a broader range cap to do it, right? You're going to lose a little bit of efficiency on 40. How many S units down it would be, or how many dB? I don't know. I'd have to go look. You can look at some calculators and get a rough idea online. And it'll also give you the amount of rough idea of the capacitance to tune it. So something looks weird right there. What the heck is going on? Oh, shoot. Oh, GM4 just heard me. Okay, so I just picked up a Gulf 4 Oscar November Tango. He's +5 to me. And he heard me on 5 watts. So it is getting across the pond on 5 watts. 80 mainly, yeah, you need to build a monobander. For sure. If you want 80, it's going to be big, and I don't know if I'd go to a true turn. I would think I'm going to start playing with the 80 meter one now that I know this works, and I'm going to build it big. I don't want to deal with this two turn crap. After seeing the way this thing works, all right, to complete the exchange, I'm going to have to wind it up. So let's go to 20 20 watts. There we go. That's the problem with running very low power, is that you won't be able to complete the exchanges. Geez, I was only -1 to him, and he can't get through the exchange. So that means somebody jumped on the frequency that I'm transmitting on and is wiping me out. Yep, he gave up. Ah! That's all right. Let it run for a couple cycles here. I'll move my... Sometimes I'll bump the transmit down to the receive and lock them up. And that will help sometimes. But, yeah, so I mean, 80 meters. If you're going to go for 80, I would probably start with, oh God. Technically, a loop for 80 meters needs to be roughly 12 feet in diameter. Somewhere in there. That's big. That means each spreader is 6 feet long. That's a big honker. You'd almost have to, pull it up from a tree branch or something like that. You can make it smaller. I'm going to actually fuss with this thing with the doorknob tomorrow. 100 puff doorknob, which will give me roughly 100 to 200 puff on the cap, theoretically, if it's in series. And see if I can get that to work. If I can get it to work, then I'm going to check to see where it falls, what band it actually moves to. It's going to be down on efficiency, but not far. I think you lose a lot of efficiency when you're up in like the 350, 400 puff range. That's where things start to fall apart, man. You're talking like, that thing is like going from an S9 to an S3. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's pretty horrible. You can destroy your efficiency by trying to force it into a band that it's not built for, just by using a broad range cap. That's why I don't really. The caps that are great are like, if you can get one that's like 10 to 350, something like that, 10 to 300, that puts you in the kill box, and you can run an antenna on multiple bands, like 2 bands. And not have it, barely noticeable down on the longer wavelengths. So that's a really good option. The problem I found is finding a cap with a high enough voltage rating. That's a very difficult thing to do, and he's not hearing me, so I'm done with that. Go back up here. And what time is it? Oh my gosh, I've been in here for an hour. All right, I'm just going to throw out a couple more calls, and then I am out of here. I figured I'd just give you guys an update as to what's going on. Lots of fun playing with this stuff, and I'll have definitive reports once I'm tied off here. So let me run a couple more cycles here, and if nobody comes back, I'm going to kill it, and we'll catch you guys later. I'm just going to let her go. Yeah, that's my goal, man. I got to get something going for 80. It's a tough band with a magnetic loop, man. Things get awfully big. Tell you what, check out Steve Adler over in VK, that 80 meters, 160 meter loop build. It ain't cheap, but it works. That thing does 80 and 160 meters. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And he's pretty much one of the gurus with this stuff. So worth going through his material. Really, really good. Way over the top compared to what I do. you look at this crap. I mean, it is a serious butcher job, but this one works like the other ones. This is the way my portable one is. It just works really, really well. Steve Adler is his name. Don't ask me his call. Type in, let's see. See if I can find it. He's got a great write-up on it, too. Let's see. Oh, you found him. Good. Yep, Merck meeting. VK5 SFA magnetic loop presentation. There you go, dude. That's what you need right there. Amazing. Okay, guys, I'm going to pull a plug. Yep, there you go. All right, I'm out of here. Kill this, and I'll play a little bit more tonight and see what happens. Oh, somebody just came back to me. Good heavens. Sierra Victor. Ooh, that's a good one. 4,700 miles. Nice. Sierra Victor 7SJS. Okay, so big difference between 5 watts and 20 to 30 watts. Big difference. So you need a little bit, probably 20 watts, push you over the top. I dropped the ball. I don't know how long it was up there. He's probably been up there for a while, so he's moved on. See if you can, no, he's working. Okay, halt. All right, cool. All right, you guys, we'll see you later. I mean, that's just the way things. Oh, Lisa's stomping on the floor. It's just the way things work out, isn't it? You never know. You know, you start working on an antenna. I've been irritated for 2 years because I don't have a decent 30-meter antenna up. So there we go. Kind of an expensive antenna just for 30 meters, but hey, what the heck? I'm sure you guys are like, oh my God, why would I build something like that for 30? But hey, you know, if you're in an HOA or you're in, you know, a lot of people can't put up wire. And I'm telling you, these things freaking work. They really work good. So we'll catch you later. Have a good evening, you guys, and I'll let you know what happens, man. This is a work in progress. It's going to take a while. So I'm glad I had something for you. And thanks for stopping by and participating. We'll see you later. Let's see, where am I? Stop streaming. Adios, amigos. K1GM, I'm Steve in the ditch going that way. We're going up for dinner.